Hey Trenton family, it's Nick. I'm going to show you around the Airstream a little closer. Yeah, pictures often just show the best side, so I want to show you some of those things that aren't perfect and let you get a closer look at that since you can't actually come and kick the tires. Yeah, let's go take a look. Here is the kitchen sink, and we love to cook. Our old business was all around cooking, so we wanted a big kitchen. Stock, the trailer kind of had a little accordion door. This was vanity for the bedroom, and that was kind of bedroom, and then this was kitchen. So we just knocked out that wall, did away with that, and made it all kitchen. So this is hardwood butcher block countertops, and then tons of storage underneath, and then pots and pan storage under that, and then the old stainless Magic Chef range works awesome. The oven works good. The yeah, this guy is missing obviously, but these three work great. So there was kind of wasted space behind the oven, so we just did these little cubbies, which is awesome. Little landing pad, so you come in the trailer and you can just pop, you have a little mat there, pop off your shoes, throw them in the cubby. So that is the dinette, not pulled out, but with the seating all the way around, and then one of the benches just nests into that little spot. And then we used one in front of the stove so our little toddler wouldn't burn his face on the stove, but you can kind of move it around as a little chair, or you can just tuck it all the way under. Okay, here. There's the water pump, the strainer, and then the tank is back there, and that's the fill. So that's the overflow, and then that's the empty drain. I don't remember how many gallons it is, but it's a new tank. Blinds on all the windows. I just roll down and clip down nicely. Just nice privacy. We had originally planned to put a 12-volt DC kind of off-grid fridge in here, so this cabinet space all the way to the edge is framed out for that model we were looking at. In the meantime, we put this just 110 volt kind of mini fridge in, and yeah, we never got around to upgrading. This little fridge works great, and then I just put on a little hatch there too, and that's awesome for the cutting board when you're traveling, and pans and stuff for the oven slide great in there. Tons of storage in this thing. I think there's more storage in this than our 35-foot fifth wheel. And these little guys open up, and then these are the kind of original little tote things, which we have a number of these, like in the pantry, and yeah. These bulkhead cabinets offer awesome storage. We use clothes and stuff for the ones in the back, and then dishes and stuff above the kitchen there. And then we did shoes and stuff down here. This was my side, this was Shay's side. We did laundry down there, and then we did kind of like socks and undies and stuff up there. That's the closet. All right, this is the bed kind of half open. This is how we would leave it, kind of as a day bed. So you could still get to the closets and get to the bathroom, but then we left a foam, memory foam topper on it, then like our comfort, all our bedding on it. So all you'd have to do is just pull it out, that last little leg, support it, and then your bed's made. That is the bed all the way pulled out. And instead of having, you know, those seams and stuff, the foam's not terrible, but yeah, you don't want to lay on those joints. So we just put a big, thick memory foam topper we got from Costco on there. It was super comfy. But with it fully pulled out, it's a little bit narrow, you know, through here. You can still get by and you can still access the closet, but and that's why we would kind of fold it up that one leg. Then the wood stove works awesome. We had just kind of firewood storage right there, and then you have just other random storage. We use that for homeschool stuff. Those are stakes for the awning. We have kind of a vintage awning that slides in. It's that color that slides over the front. For the stove, we have an additional section of pipe that you can pop on when you're stationary. So it sits 20 inches or so above the roof with the little vent cap. And then if you're driving, you can pop that off and put a little cap on top, so you don't have like a mass sticking up. For the bathroom, we have a little curtain for a door. There was kind of like this funky trifold thing that was in their stock, and it was tough to open and tough to close. So for our family, that worked fine. Here is our composting toilet. So basically, this was a fiberglass bench that went all the way across. There was a little sink that was halfway over into the tub, and then the toilet was right here. So we were tapping into the one inlet to the tank, which was the flange. So we moved our composting toilet there. Then all the gray water goes into the flange, the toilet flange. You could put a toilet back in it if you wanted to, but you'd have to reconfigure, the way the sink goes. But so this is basically just toilet seat, and we just have a little. You just put your bucket in there and put covering over it and swap it out. Worked well. So the shower is there is no no faucet or any like a shower head installed. We used like a stainless pump shower. And that worked well enough that we never ended up buying a hot water heater or wiring it or plumbing in the shower. There is PEX run, and that hot water and cold water that runs over where you could put the hot water heater. So you definitely could add it fairly easily. I mean, it's just a matter of tapping into that plumbing. We just never did it. Also, this sink, I never connected it. I mean, everything is there. It just the inlet needs to be connected. Yeah, so that's all plumbed there. It's just not connected. Then back here, that's where the hot water heater was. That's version 1.0 of the shower. We used a new weed sprayer and then just hooked up a low flow head. A low flow head to it. And then eventually we upgraded to a stainless tank because that was starting to rust out. So that's the power converter, and that basically, when you're in shore power, that runs everything on 12 volt, and it also charges the house battery, which is right under there. Yeah, and that's the space for the hot water heater. That's where it was, and that's probably where you'd want to put it. You can see the other where you'd plumb in for the hot water. Alright, so that's the bathroom. So all the lights are LED. And then these guys, these covers are original. You can buy new ones on Vintage Trailer Supply. They often go out of stock, but that are kind of a nicer white. Yeah. And there's two fantastic fans, which are awesome. They need to be cleaned out. You can suck air in, out. You can do one in, one out. So that's just a straight up vent, and then the other fantastic fan is in the back. So those work really well. We do have a couple of leaks. One is coming in here. This style of window that's frameless. They're kind of finicky, and you can get little drip edge to go over the top. And so basically, as water comes down, it just sheds it all off the window. And that would take care of that little issue. Was gonna get that. I just never got around. See the windows here? They're they have a little bit of radius to it that matches the trailer, which is pretty sharp. But yeah, you can't just go down to the glass store and buy it. You can see that frameless window. Like I said, those little drip edges, I think they're like 12 to 15 bucks a piece, and you just rivet them on there and you seal around it, and then that way any water that's coming hits the drip edge and then just keeps it all the way away from the window. So I would add those to all the windows and the back utility access. See the side panel here has a little bit of there's a clear coat that's added from the factory, and it's a little bit, you know, peeling off there. You can easily strip that off. We kind of, I personally, I like the ragamuffin look, so we just kind of left it patinaed. So that is the passenger side. Passenger side's fairly straight. There's a little bit of, you can see a little bit of scratches there. You know, no huge dents. All right, we had a receiver welded on to the main frame members. The same guy that did the frame repairs welded that on for us, so you could put some bikes on there or such. Then we replaced, lighting's bad right here. We replaced all the lights in the back, all the running lights, the reverse marker lights. And then this is the, let me try to use that. Okay, so there's one of the little owies on the back driver's side corner. A little bit of a crease. Some of that could pop out with one of those little suction things. There's another little one right there. And then the main thing is these little racing stripes here on the side. It didn't get into that access door, but pretty good. Couches on the side. Okay, here's the rear service hatch. You got your 12 volt panel. The 110 12 volt DC 110 is inside that little cabinet inside there. And then this was made just to kind of slot into place, and then it had like a little lock core that you would lock, and then that was it. So you would unlock it and you just kind of pull the whole thing out. Well, it didn't have the lock core. I just had a bungee in it and attached it there, and then it would just kind of by friction keep it in there. Yeah, a lock core is pretty easy to slap in there. Just kind of one of those things didn't do. And then this is the this is the gray water from the sink, and the bathroom sink, or the bathroom sink comes straight down, and then the kitchen sink and the tub feed into this, and it just drops into the tank, and then the valve is right there. And then this is your fresh water in, and then there's a valve if you're going to if you're doing shore water, you hit that and close this. That goes to the water tank up front. And then if you're going to use the water tank or your pump, your 12 volt pump, then you would open that and close that. And then you can see there's a little stub right here. That's for the hot water heater that we never installed. And then the shore power just pops through a little hole there. It's right there. And then that is the shore water, and then it has a pressure fitting on it, so that some places you have crazy amounts of pressure, and that just keeps it from blowing your plumbing. So that's the service door closed, and again, those drip edges, I would totally put a drip edge, and was intending to over the top of that and the top of that window as well. So the tires, we purchased them new in 2012 or 13, so they're a couple years old, but the tread is still, still decent on it. It is the stock axles, and we bought new axles for it, and then we were in a race to get out of town, and they were taking forever to ship, and so we wanted to do other repairs, so we just got refunded for it, and we just never got around to adding them. Yeah, but they've worked fine the last several years. This was the hatch for the Suburban forced air furnace. We didn't have that anymore, so we just closed it off. And we got the door. The door is, it's a little, the hinge basically needs to be remounted. You can see it's kind of a little bit loose, so it needs to be remounted to line up good. When we bought it, it was fine, and then it's kind of just beaten down the road. It's it's yeah, needs to be done. You got the little access step, folds up under. Just pull it. This is the front rock guard. It is original. It's a sweet green kind of plasticky material. You know, I was gonna have my buddy that's a welder just kind of tack these back together. It's aluminum, pretty thin. Otherwise, the frame is good. And then that plasticky material, it's a little bit busted there. New rock guards, I think, are $300 or $400. It's just never really a priority for us. And it just keeps rocks off that front window. There's that plexiglass window. Vintage Trailer Supply carries that Corning glass. We have this little guy, it's called the Trailer Valet. It's awesome. Basically it works as like a tongue jack, but then there's two speeds. There's like a low and then a high, and it has a little brake and then a steering thing. So you can kind of, you know, pulling it in and out of our shop space, I can just crank it in and out. You can even connect a drill to it to kind of move it. So it's super handy for finagling the trailer around. This was the spot for the hot water heater. Then you have service access here to get to that, and then you had service access there to get to your fridge access for like your propane on and off and stuff. This is the freshwater inlet. So there was not insulation from about right there forward. That's where we replaced that much of the floor, and then in the back we replaced all the bathroom floor. And yeah, like I was saying on the phone, there's different opinions about the best method of insulation, and then some people were just like, you know what, I'm gonna chase the sun. Like I don't want water to get on there and to rust stuff, and have insulation hold that moisture on the frame. So yeah, we didn't put insulation in. So that's the trailer. Definitely not perfect, but it's a solid rig. If you want to see something more up close or more in depth, we can take some more video or do some more footage. Just give me a shout. Thanks.